Hello, doers, and welcome back. My name is Jose Ignacio. Today, we're learning about the default time windows in the Rentals app. Managing rental policies across products and locations can get messy fast. Odoo lets you standardize the process with default rental settings. You can configure the rental defaults to define late return fees and grace periods, set buffer times for maintenance or cleaning, and track inventory movement between locations and customers, and even define when pickups and returns are possible while also allowing you to set the shortest rental duration allowed. Let's break these down. So, default delay cost sets late fee rates and grace periods for all rental products or specific ones. Delay costs are included with the rental app, while the remaining settings require additional Odoo apps. Default padding time adds buffer time between rentals for tasks like cleaning or inspections. Rental transfers creates delivery and return receipts to track inventory movement between locations and customers. Minimal time of rental sets the shortest online rental duration, and unavailability days limit when customers can pick up or return rentals online. Today, I'm going to configure default rental rules for Bike Peddler, a bike rental company with 3 storefront locations. So, enough chit chat, let's get into it. So, to begin, let's check our settings by selecting configuration up at the top and then settings. So, inside of here, we have our default delay costs, and they are set to $20 per hour, $50 per day, with a grace period of 1 hour after the scheduled return time. If you leave the products field blank down here below, right there, Odoo will, in this case, it's going to create the rental delay cost and apply it to all rental products. If needed, we can select a single product inside of this drop down menu right there, but I'm going to click away. So the rental transfers below checkbox is also enabled, and default padding time over here is set to 30 minutes. Now, going down below to the rent online section, the minimal rental duration is 1 hour, and unavailability days happen to be right now Monday and Sunday, and that's going to restrict only Monday and Sunday for rentals. So, since Bike Peddler has 3 stores, let's check the inventory app settings by selecting inventory from the left sidebar over here. And we're going to scroll down over to our warehouse section. Perfect, right here. So, there we are. So I see storage locations is enabled, and that's great. All right. So I'm going to click this locations link, and notice right there that we happen to have this customer slash rental location. This internal location is automatically created when rental transfers over here is enabled. Anything in this location represents products rented out to customers. And here is a pro tip. Never modify this default location or you risk breaking your inventory tracking. You can also see right over here where we have, in this case, warehouse store 1 right there. 3 custom store locations appear right below it for Bike Peddler. So now let's see what happens when we change some configurations on a product. So I'm going to select products up at the top, and then we're going to select our electric bike. Okay, so in our general information tab, our product type is goods. We also happen to have track inventory by quantity right there. And for our quantity on hand, right there, it shows us the amount of bikes available. All important for tracking transfers between locations. So now let's move over to the sales tab right there. So you want to ensure over here on the e-commerce shop section right there that we have, you want is published to be toggled on right there. Otherwise, bikes won't appear on Bike Peddler's website. Finally, in the rentals tab over here, we can see a few different things. The reservations section over here shows our global defaults pre-populated, including the 30-minute padding time that we talked about, labeled now as reserved product here. We can override any of these at the product level. Let's change like our fine over here to $30 an hour late. Perfect. Now let's see what our customers experience. So I'm going to click, go to website over here, and here we are. All right. It's important to note that the time zone you configure for the website app will affect the default rental settings. In this example that I'm showing you now, you're going to end up seeing the time zone right above the date fields next to the rental period. As I'm signed in right now and the time zones match, nothing is going to be appearing for me. All right, so on the product page, clicking the actual start date right here shows me that we have all Sundays and Mondays grayed out. That's our unavailability day setting at work. along with any days that have also passed because you can't rent in the past. So I'm going to set both dates to tomorrow, and we're going to select apply right there for that first one. And the second one as well. Both of them are going to be 6/26 right there. Okay, great. And then I'm going to rent it for, let's say tomorrow at noon. And I only want it for 30 minutes or so. So we're going to do 12:30 p.m. And we're going to select apply. Huh. The bike can't be added to the cart because it doesn't meet our 1 hour minimum rental duration. And I'm glad that you kind of caught that. Boom. So keep in mind, this restriction only applies to the online storefront. You can bypass it by creating a quote directly in the database. Now watch what happens when I try to rent a bike for 2 hours today, 15 minutes from now. So we're going to first change these dates out. Does not really want to let us do that first one. So we're going to select 6:15 for today on both of these. And then for the second time, we're going to select 8:15 today. Look at that. A message right below has changed and it appears indicating there isn't enough time to prep time. And that's our 30-minute padding time protecting your team. Let's switch gears and see what a rental order looks like in the back end. So here underneath our rental orders landing page, some rental orders show a late return, like we have over here. We also happen to have a late pickup, and we have a couple of others, but we're going to actually focus on this one for Sally Sapling. So we're going to click it right there. So under the order lines tab, there is a rental delay cost automatically calculated using the hourly fine rate with the number of hours that we happen to have overdue. Remember, because our 30-minute grace period, any return past that threshold is billed for a full hour. Now let's see rental transfers in action as well. Because we enabled rental transfers, this delivery smart button that we have up at the top appears. So this takes us, once we click it over here, to our orders transfers page, showing exactly when the bike left stock and also when it returned. So the reference column that we have over here denotes the transfer type, and you can see that right there, as in the in versus the out right there. And that'll show us the from and to columns as well, where it came from, and the precise locations used. So this rental order was picked up at store 1 right there, and it returned to store 2 right there. Boom. Look at that. All right, so that's pretty interesting to see right there. So to generate paperwork for your customer, you want to go back to the rental sales order using the link that we happen to have over here inside of our breadcrumbs right there. And then we're going to select actions and then print. And then from here, you can print the pickup and return receipt. Boom, right there. So the receipt right here, it outlines what was rented, the pickup and return times, and confirmation for both. And there you have it. By establishing smart default time windows, Bike Peddler can enforce consistent policies across all locations, eliminate scheduling conflicts, and reduce manual admin work. Now you can configure your own rental defaults with confidence. Check out the videos and documentation links below to learn more about the rental app. That's it for today. See you next time.